we're doing Right Seed Ride with these guys, and we're doing security for route clearance. So me,
the guys clearing the road.
Yeah, my squad, Daly's squad, and Big Lee's squad.
Yeah.
So we're doing that, and when Captain Minton gets in the country, and this is after the chase stuff happened, and then shortly after we came out to you guys at Garda, but we were doing route clearance there for a little while, and we'd walk for a little while, and then they'd radio, hey, hold in place, and we just set up security, sit on the side of a clot wall or something like that. But we were sitting there, and I think Lee was with us, me, Captain Minton, Lee, shooting the shit, and on one of these breaks, and we got our guys set up and all this, and we're sitting there, and we hear a damn phone ring, and we're like looking at each other like, what the dude?
I never heard this one.
Yeah, and the shit was, I shit you not, from like probably us to the fire pit over here.
What?
Just a phone in the bushes, which the EOD dudes called a attempted device, but
They messed it up?
improper,
What? Yeah, they go off.
whatever. Yeah, or it was an old munition or something like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, dude.
So someone had eyes on you guys and was calling the phone to
They
like
had to have.
blow
They're
you
like,
up.
yep,
there they
They
are.
had to have, man.
Oh, dude, I didn't know that one.
Yeah.
We got spun up. There was at the time it was like an IED that they had found on the blimp, and then we got radio of you guys were in a pretty bad tick. We got the green light, says we're like, oh really? We gotta go? And we mounted up and rolled as fast as possible, and just out of nowhere, I was driving. That was the first and last time I drove a vehicle, but they hit an IED. All right, who's in the first truck? Josh. Who's in the second truck? I don't remember. Then Lee. Who's in Lee's truck? And then going through all of it, and I just remember Josh, he kind of stayed off to the side, but he made sure to get out of the truck, and he went up to each individual person and checked on them, even though they weren't our guys. Turner, he was the gunner. He was with 3rd Platoon, I believe, and then Lee was in a different platoon, and he went up and made sure everybody was cool, and then he went back to the truck, and he started handling everything logistically. He did his part. He didn't need to be out there in the fight. That was for the lower dudes. He needed to go up and start planning what his rank handled. It was logistics. He was the mom in our relationship. He wasn't the dad. Dad, go handle the work. All right, I'm going to handle everything on the back end. And he did, and it was just, seeing him in that setting go from, I want to be out here with the dudes, but I need to go
Get it done, because it won't get done.
So that was a moment I can clearly see the internal dialogue he's going through of just, I want to be right here, but I'm going to go do it on the back end so these dudes can make it.
He was a 100% go-getter, and I mean, I like his leadership style. I don't get along with a lot of lieutenants, right? That's just
done right. Whether however long it took, it was get it done right, make sure everybody's safe. He didn't ever want anybody to
Yeah, I agree
be
with
in
that.
jeopardy.
It was definitely a clear part of his leadership style.
He wanted the dudes taken care of first, and he wanted the objective completed by the book, how it's supposed to be done.
Yeah, I think Josh had a lot of compassion as well. So when I was coming back from Bagram to go through Fob Airborne, like he got me a new uniform, and I like stood at attention in front of his desk, and he's telling me, hey, Hari, you did a good job, thanks. We're sending you back to Germany. You're going to be part of Rear D. You're going to help us from behind.
after your incident.
Yeah, after
Okay.
I got blown up. And it was unacceptable to me at the time. And as I mentioned to some of you guys, like I didn't want to be away. Like I didn't want to get blown up, and it killed me to know y'all were still going through it, and they're trying to send me back in a clean uniform to Germany. Like it was torture for my mind.
Yeah.
So as soon as you said that, I was like, yeah, sorry, I can't allow you to do that. He's like,
yeah, okay.
listen, I'm the platoon leader. This is what we're doing. We're sending you back. I was like, all right, sir. If that's what you want to do, I was like, go ahead and call Smoke Natty Yellow and tell him you're sending me back to Germany. And he said, all right, we're going to send you back to Garda tomorrow, okay? You ready? I mean, it was just like that. So he could tell that I really cared enough to defy my command to a point, that that, you know, he saw the value maybe in his personnel. And I really appreciated that because, like, you know, as a platoon leader, and I was in his charge, you know, this guy totally could have sent me to Germany. Who cares what anyone says?
100%.
Especially if Feeney was on board, it would have been a wrap. And yeah, so that was cool. I really enjoyed that moment when I was like, yeah, I'm going to Garda for real, sir?
Back to back.
Yeah.
Josh was definitely one of the more likable and down to earth. You know, he wasn't one of the guys that came out of West Point with his chest out and said, "Oh, I'm done with West Point, you know, Ball, you're going to do what I say," stuff like that. He was a team worker. He didn't, you know, if you had an idea or a suggestion, he would take it. He wasn't one to think that he's the smartest guy in the room. And, you know, I think he had a good leadership style for sure.
I think his legacy is that some of the guys that are still in, you know, of course they'd have been younger guys, but, you know, for me, you, and you, having a lieutenant come in and be, you know, kind of squared away right off the bat, that's good. But, you know, the young guys that are in the Army and they're looking for, you know, good leadership, you know, if anything, like maybe they went to their next unit and they didn't get that, but they recognize what it should look like because of Josh, you know?
Yeah.
And then they kind of start holding everybody else around them to this standard.
Yeah.
They're like, hey, I was with this guy one day and he was squared away and this is how we got shit done. And, you know, there's a point where you can't influence that, but then there is also a point where you put in the time and do the work. Like now you're in a leadership position where you can make some decisions and have some influence on the way things go. And you can still think back, because I do it. I did it my whole time. Like, oh, I remember this guy. Like, this guy, that's how I want to do stuff. And now you can start to impart that on younger people, then it keeps to kind of carry over and carry over.
Yeah, kind of just, this is what right looks like. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
exactly. And the sad part is in the Army, like, I think, you know, yeah, this is what right looks like. But that's like a low percentage of your experience with leadership, right?
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
Yeah. Agreed.
But it's a good thing if you're like a guy that's squared away and is going to move on and get promoted and all that. But a lot of times like I always thought to myself, with most people, like, I'm never going to do that way. Yeah, that's like 80% of my leadership style. Doing shit that other people, doing shit opposite from what other people did.
Yeah.
And then you got the few sprinkled in too to reinforce that did do the right thing. And you're trying to emulate them. So, you know, I mean, he was one of the good guys, and that's not me trying to church it up because we're on a video. Like, I've had a lot of platoon leaders and battery commanders and everything, and, you know, he's one of the handful of officers that, like, I think back and, like, oh, this guy was squared away.
And I can throw back what you guys meant to him. And McCarty was coming, and Josh is like, we're going. And I'm like, dude, you're not in good shape. I really think we should call Matt and see if he can come up here. And he's like, no, we're going. So he got out of getting fluids, and we made I'm going to cry probably. We made the drive down here. And Josh was just out of it. You know, he was just like, and we got up on top of this hill, and you were sitting on the back of your truck, and he sat up, and I don't know how he did it, but for a half hour or whatever, he was normal. And it was just incredible. The respect he had, you know, for you. So I told Matt, I said, you know, Josh will be up and down through the night. You know, when I hear him, I'll get up with him. And every time I heard him, the next thing I heard was Matt. You know, Captain Minton, what can I do? You know, how can I help? And before the weekend was over, you know, we literally carried him to get him in an because he was just so weak. But that was how much it meant to him to come and see Matt, and I know he'd have done it if it had been any of you guys.
Yeah.
He'd been like, I'm going. So that's what you guys meant to him.